What's up, Tampa Bay? Welcome to the Sports Bar. That's right.
Yeah.
Your own personal COVID-free virtual sports bar. That's right. We have innovated once again, breaking down barriers in the state of Florida, in the best city in Florida, Tampa Bay. I don't know if you know it, but up there in the corner, that is the silhouette of the city we love. And this is the new format. Don't worry. We're still going to do We the Thunder. We're going to do some post-game shows. We're going to dive deep into the Bolts, and we're going to talk about the Bolts a little bit on this show. We're still going to do some We the 98ers, but all those shows we missed doing, and those were kind of post-game shows. This show, we're going to talk about whatever the hell we want. And guess what?
That's right.
This time, we're going to let you know what the hell we're going to talk about. You can see right below NBA Tampa Bay. We're going to talk about that first. You can see we're going to talk about the Bucs. We're going to talk about the Rays offseason, a little bit rocky. We'll get there. And then we've got kind of a question of the day for everyone. And that is, what is your favorite Tampa Bay dive bar? We're all about the sports bar. And I am your host, Shooter. And we have the Stache. And
as always.
We're going guest list for the first episode. This is episode number 1, but we will have some exciting guests coming up.
Stache,
as always. I'm going to let you talk a little bit on this show. What is your thought behind this wonderful Tampa Bay sports bar concept that we got going on?
You know, this is what we've kind of like culmination, right? Like we've been talking about this, especially since we fired back up We the Thunder. And how technology has kind of started to catch up. This is what we've been wanting to do basically since day one, years and years ago. So I couldn't be more excited about this new format. And I don't even know if I want to say new format. It's just kind of like a tweak on what we've been doing. But now it's just like every week, what we're coming with. We're going to have a certain format. You're going to be able to log on, see right where we are, what we're talking about, what we're going to run down. And I mean, we're going to be bringing back shooter games here in a little while. We're going to be having some, like you said, some top-notch guests on here. And of course, our live chat, which is we're one of the only ones doing that. Our live call-ins, we're still going to be doing that. No one else will be doing that kind of stuff. So we're not only innovating, we're updating, we're going ahead of ourselves. We're trying to be ahead of ourselves. You know what I mean? And that's what I love about this show right now. Where we're going with the sports bar, that's the direction I like to see what's going in.
Yeah. And the idea was, me and this guy, we hang out at Tampa Bay sports bars. Some of you have probably met us or had conversations with us at sports bars. And this guy's so damn loud. Whenever we're having a conversation, it seems like everybody at the bar gets involved. So guess what? Everybody can get involved. I see you guys in the chat. Donnie Pepin's like our resident Canadian Toronto fan. He does not like the NBA to Tampa Bay talk, I bet, especially with that being the Raptors. But we'll get to that. We want to see some more of this. Evan's in the chat. Red Barn in Sarasota. I've never heard of that one. That's the question of the day. We want to know your favorite Tampa Bay dive bar. Sarasota counts. That's in the Tampa Bay area. So lay those on us. We'll let you know if we've been to those. And sometimes we're going to be having some beverages. I told Stache, I'm like, listen, I ain't actually drinking every week. I know you might, but I told him, I let him in a little secret. It's a little man secret. The shooter man is drinking a little Appalachian sipping cream tonight. That's right.
Yeah.
This stuff is delicious. It is moonshine for those that don't know, but it is a sipping cream, and man, it is silky and smooth. What are you sipping on?
I'm drinking the godfather of American IPA, Stone, and their upside down cans, the delicious upside down can label. The other thing too we kind of forgot about is we're going to kind of get this way as we get rolling, but we're definitely going to be featuring some of our local favorite sports bars. That's kind of why we're talking about our favorite dive bar to kick off the show, just to kind of tie it into the theme. And we already see we got a couple of our buddies here. Our old friend Monty, shouting out to Average Joe down there, Joe McGrath. He's our old time buddy. He's been a friend of Shooting the Stache since day one. So he's probably going to be one of the first guys that we pimp the hell out of on the show. And we got another shout out for Avid Shows already. People know about the place.
That's Kristen. I know Kristen.
Yeah, we know Kristen. So
you know what's funny? I got to just tell you this quick story. I just poured my sipping cream in this glass, and then I realized it looks like milk. So I poured it right back into the mason jar.
Call it milk, I call it man juice. But hey, potato.
Hey, some people go to the sports bar and they drink a tall glass of milk. Okay. Not everyone drinks alcohol. Maybe I just want to sip on some milk tonight. Maybe this was all a ploy. Maybe I got some moonshine. I went to the store, got it. Or no, I went to the backwoods of the Appalachian Mountains and got it. Then on my way back, I poured it out my window. And then I stopped and got a warm jug of milk. I don't know why it was a warm jug of milk. And that's what I'm sipping on.
They sell it warm all the time.
Anyway, here's the problem that some of you guys are going to have with the show. We tend to get off topic, but that's why we've got the list below to keep us on topic. So now you kind of know what we're doing. We've got to ask you guys, though, to do us a favor. We're gonna have this on our Facebook. We're gonna have this on our YouTube. Go subscribe to those. I was just telling Stache the craziest stat. This is the craziest stat. Our last video was the Thanksgiving video, and you guys all liked it. Thank you for that, and thanks you for everyone that kind of participated in it. That video got as many views on Facebook as our entire catalog has on YouTube. And I have no idea why nobody wants to watch us on YouTube. But you know what? Please go subscribe to YouTube. Go subscribe to the podcast. So it's going to be the Shooter and the Stache Podcast Network, because when we do our We the Thunder, which we will do later this month, that is also going to be on there. So we'll have these one-off episodes. They're all going to be under that Shooter and the Stache main kind of moniker on Apple Podcast, and all of them. We'll be on all of them. Go check it out, Spotify, all that crap. Anyway, we got anything else about this, what we're trying to do here? Are we going to get on to our first topic ever? Our first topic ever. And did you think that this would be our first topic ever?
Never. Yeah. 5 years ago, sitting down to start doing a show in Tampa about sports in general, a couple ham and eggers. Never did I think that when we finally got around to really doing the show, that our very, very first topic would be the NBA to Tampa Bay. And not only that, it's the Toronto team of all teams, of all the NBA teams, to come play in Tampa. I mean, this is like the all-time troll, isn't it? I mean, come on, as Tampa fans, isn't this the greatest troll of all time? Because, we don't really have any love lost for Toronto and that fan base at all. So for their basketball team to have to come play in our house, where we just won the Stanley Cup, by the way, they're playing in the home of the Stanley Cup. I mean, come on. I mean, this is amazing. This is amazing.
Let's not make one of our loyal followers cry on the first episode.
If I don't make at least two people cry, we got to shut this shit down.
I mean, between NBA to Tampa Bay and our second topic, what's up with the Bucs? Because Donnie's a Toronto guy, but he's a Bucs fan. So between those two, it might be a rough show for him. But yeah, so for anyone that doesn't know, because you know what, this isn't a huge basketball town. I know that for a fact. We're just not. I think I put out there on Facebook, like, when this all went down, like, what do you guys feel about it? I think the majority did not like it, which I don't understand. I'm going to try to change your mind. But for anyone that doesn't know, the NBA, Toronto has a team there, right? Or Toronto has a team in the NBA, and Toronto, Canada, is not like letting a ton of people in, right? They've got, all these COVID restrictions. They don't want a bunch of Americans kind of messing up their low COVID rates, whatever.
We're all full up here, buddy.
So yeah, just like the who was it that played? The Blue Jays played in Buffalo, right?
Yep.
So just like that, Tampa Bay got chosen to host the Raptors. So technically, we're not getting an NBA team. We're borrowing an NBA team for the year. They'll still be the Toronto Raptors. But hey, if anyone out there, I know where's Steve? Anyone out there that sells merch, I'll buy a Tampa Bay Raptors jersey. So hit me up. I'll give you my address. But yeah. So what do you think about this move? Are you excited about it? What's your thought?
Well, I mean, I'm freaking pumped. I'm so pumped. I mean, I 40 years old, so I kind of grew up right in the middle of that Bulls dynasty run. I got swept up in it. especially being a kid that didn't have from a city without an NBA team at all. I was in Jacksonville at the time. But even before that, my mom was really into basketball. She was a huge Celtics and Larry Bird fan. So I got to watch Magic and Bird growing up, those guys going back and forth, even before the Jordan era. So, by the way, awesome. That's one down. I only got to get one more, and that's my quota for the show, crying fans.
What? Tears
yeah.
of Toronto fans?
Yeah, tears of Toronto fans.
So tasty. You know what they taste like? Appalachian sipping.
Appalachian sipping. Oh, yes. Oh, God, it's so good to be back, I got to tell you. And that's, hey, by the way, a shout out to our great fan from across the pond, Rachel. We missed you too. It's good to be back. It's good to see that you're watching us from across the pond. But back to what I'm talking about, I'm excited to have NBA in my backyard. I've never had this experience before in my life. Been here 18 years. I've been able to have basketball or baseball, hockey, and football right at my doorstep. I'm agreeing here with Bryce. We've never had NBA in our town. Orlando is, nobody wants to go there. We barely go there for Disney World. Let's be honest, right? Like, who in Tampa really likes going to Orlando that much? We don't. But if it's right there,
thing, right?
Yeah, and also Kissimmee is so close. Like, we don't even have to go to Orlando to go to Disney. You know what I mean? We're not actually going to Orlando. We're just going to Disney. So that's a completely different thing, really. Even so, it would be pretty cool to just be able to go down there and watch some freaking NBA. It's exciting, and I know that our boy Monty's all about it because he's a basketball guy. My brother-in-law just moved here. He's a big basketball guy, so I'm excited, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, think about how many new Lightning fans just this last year we got, and back in 2004,
right?
And I think you got to kind of look at it like that. And for anyone that hasn't actually been to a live NBA game, and I know we kind of don't know what's going to happen yet if they're going to let people in, but you know what, if they do let people in, I'm definitely going to be there. I've had kind of the opportunity in the last couple of years to start going to NBA games around the country, really. And man, they're really fun. Like, it's a fun experience. And I was going to see teams that aren't even great teams, right? So I wasn't going to see
right.
the Golden State Warriors and the Lakers and all these teams that are that good. I was going to see middle of the road teams. And you know what? It's one of those things where it's something to do. It's getting out of the house. It's entertaining. It's really entertaining. So you look at kind of what the Lightning have done, and I don't know how much their production team is going to be involved in kind of what happens at the stadium. And, we don't know what the fan situation is, but if you're kind of on the fence and you kind of like basketball, you watch it on TV, or you're like, I like college basketball, not NBA, go check out a game. There's a lot of young stars in the NBA that are actually really good basketball players. It's not the NBA from 10 years ago.
No. And the Toronto Raptors are kind of good,
Yeah.
They just won. I mean, not last year, but just 2 years ago. So, and they just re-signed Van Fleet. So, I mean, they've got superstars there that are the future. Absolutely, like you're saying, they're future guys that are going to be there right here in our downtown, playing basketball professionally. So, yeah, I mean, we got to show out as a town. That's my number one thing. It's whether you necessarily are into Toronto's team being here or not, if you're into sports in general, go check it out and go show that we can support that other team, because all that's really going to do is give us more credibility to the other teams in town if we get the fourth team for all four sports. It's also going to bring so much more revenue, so much more economic opportunities to this town if we were able to get that fourth team. So there's so much more impact that it could have here just in, now we got a basketball team. It would have such a wide-ranging impact on the Bay Area.
Well, I think if the team does well and they do let some people in and, we show up, then that opens up the eyes. I still think it's a long shot with Orlando being so close, but it goes back to something we did talk about on, I want to say on We the 98ers on one episode, about proposing the swap, right? Let's swap some Rays games for some Magic games. And maybe it's not the half season, but maybe it's a quarter of the season. And that way, some of Orlando gets to enjoy baseball, some of Tampa gets to enjoy basketball. I don't know if it could really work here long term, especially with the Magic so close, and like the desire for basketball in the city is not sky high like it is in other cities. But I want you guys to give basketball a chance and just watch it. It's better if you go. It's not. It's like hockey, right?
It's like hockey.
It's
Way
better in
better in
person.
person. Yes. 100%.
Just the sounds of being there, the squeaking of the shoes. And it's funny. I walked on the court, and where was that? I think it was Memphis, and I didn't realize they had this. So I wasn't supposed to be on the court. I had some sipping cream that night, but
you must have been sipping cream to get on that court.
I think I was in Tennessee. But they have this big white pad, and it basically what it is, it's like this sticky ass thing that makes sure your shoes are clean. So I'm like trying to stroll my way onto the court. I'm like, I'm gonna get some sweet pictures on the court. And I step on this thing and I'm like, holy crap, my shoe almost came off.
Flypaper. Yeah, it's like human flypaper.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So almost
use
lost
it in construction too. Yeah.
Security guard came over to put me in my place. Anyway, that was as close as I got to an NBA stadium. But one of the best things I did during COVID was I bought a basketball hoop. Didn't know the Raptors were going to come to Tampa Bay. Anyway, I got the picture pulled up here. This was from a Toronto designer. I just posted this, so I'm going to read some of your comments, which I have not read yet. So hopefully you guys didn't put too many hate comments. But what do you think of this? They kind of stole our color theme here. We went with a little bolder on our colors, but I thought this was cool. I think the feedback on Twitter was a little too Miami-ish with the colors, maybe more of an orange in there. Seems more Tampa Bay. I think it looks pretty cool though. It's a cool little design.
It's pretty dope.
So let's see what the comments are. I just posted this. We got a couple comments here. Judging myself for the way I'm feeling about, but I love this. Tampa now has a championship basketball team. Evan says, hell no. These are fire. Nah, from Tony. And then Bryce. I know Bryce must like them. Yeah, orange instead of pink. Get rid of the hey, man, we're right online. And yep, that's the comment I saw. I like that one. So, yeah, it'd be cool if they could do some stuff like that. And like I said, if there's any merch out there, I'll buy at least a shirt or a hat or something because, we got to kind of embrace this while we have this NBA team here. And who knows what can happen if we kind of show the support like we can and we have with the Lightning and some of our other teams.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, and again, I'm excited about just the concept of having a good NBA team here too. It's not just like, oh, they threw, the Pelicans at us or whatever the crap, you know what I mean? Like we got a team that just won a championship now coming to play in a championship arena. It just makes sense. That's all I'm saying. It just makes sense, come on.
Yeah. And I was reading an article today from the Times and it said that they chose Tampa.
Right.
Out of all the other places they could have chosen from, they chose Tampa. You know what? It probably helps when you have all these brand new empty buildings downtown, including the JW Marriott, which is like their headquarters. So anyway, we're excited about it. And guess what? We're going to talk about it on the show. So if you don't like basketball, sorry.
Sorry
about Canadian accent.
Sorry about your luck, eh?
So that's the deal. The NBA is coming
to
Tampa
American
Bay.
hoops around here, eh? Talk some
and
American hoops.
Training camp started today, right?
Today, yeah. They were just talking. I was just watching a little bit of their interviews before, after their practice today, and kind of getting settled in here. And they only are scheduled to play one preseason game on the 12th, and then it looks like the season's going to kick off around the 18th or so. So yeah, I mean, we're going to be having games here real soon. So that's cool.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's the NBA to Tampa Bay. Let us move on to the next topic. And I know we got a lot of Bucs followers. Oh, one more thing on the NBA, the Raptors. I had people right away asking me if we were going to see some Raptors animations. And my response was, are they playing sports in Tampa Bay? Because that's kind of what we do. And if you take a close look at the Thanksgiving video, even though that came out before this news came out, take a close look. Go look at it again.
There's some Easter eggs.
There might be a little flash in there with the Raptors. All right, let's move on to what's up with the Bucs. The Bucs have lost what, 3 straight? Is it 2 straight or 3 straight? Should probably prepare for the show a little bit.
Well, if you go on the social medias, they've lost every game this season.
11 in a row.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, Bucs off the heels of losing. Quick reminder to the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs,
fully healthy with the addition of a dynamite rookie in the backfield. Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, so last 2 games they lost. They lost to the Rams, a playoff team. They lost to the Chiefs, a playoff team, obviously. Weird thing is, same score on both of them, 27-24. I think the problem was with the problem is like how ugly the Bucs look at times, and it's across the board. You can't just say the defense is bad, because it's almost like the defense will play good for one half, and then it's the offensive's turn to really stink. And I think that's what's most frustrating to people, is that this offense, with all of this firepower, just can't seem to put it together for a full 4 quarters. Like, obviously, they kind of seem to go on runs later in the game, but this is nothing new to Tampa. We've seen this for a while now. And what do you think?
At the top. It starts at the top. It starts with the guy who's wearing the headset with the designation OC. Starts with him. It starts with him. 12 carries per game for the last, 5 games, I think, for Rojo. That's all he's getting per game. He's only getting 12 touches a game on average, and Brady's throwing up 40-plus times. This is why I hate quarterbacks as offensive coordinators, because it's like they're just waiting to abandon the run game. They're just waiting for an excuse. Oh, can't run the ball now. Got to throw it 30 times in a fucking row, right? I mean, look at the way they started the game. The defense decided, oh, we don't need to worry about Tyreek Hill. That guy is nothing. Don't worry about him. He can just don't even keep eyes on him. He won't hurt us. Don't worry about him. That's what the defense decided to do for the first 15 minutes. But let's talk about the offense and how they came out in the first 3 possessions, and how they just came out throwing the ball. The Chiefs are not good against the run, and Rojo has just been getting better and better and better, and yet we're seeing less and less and less of him.
Yeah, I agree. They seem to abandon that run so early. It's like me playing Madden. It's like, right. All right, I ran the ball twice. Yeah, let's air it out. Like, that is exactly what it's like. And, as great as Tom Brady is and all these guys, it makes a big difference when you have these defenders closing in because they think you're going to run the ball. But when you don't run the ball, like they set the record that one game where they ran it 5 times. I realized they were getting their ass whooped by the Saints. Right. But they abandon that run so early. And I get it. Like, Rojo will run for 2 yards, 2 yards, 1 yard, 2 yards. Fournette doesn't do any better. But usually running backs get better as they go. Look at Derrick Henry. I know Derrick Henry's a beast, right? But Derrick Henry gets better in the second half. And it's because they keep feeding him. He feasted on the Ravens a couple weeks ago, and all in the second half. It was all in the second half. So, I mean, it's frustrating for Bucs fans because I feel like we all know what the problem is. The play calling, and everyone wants to say the coaching and stuff like that. But I think we need to take a step back and realize we're in the playoffs right now. They added an extra wild card. A lot of people don't know this, but they added an extra wild card this year. Yep. So we're in good shape still. Yeah. And we weren't expected to beat the Chiefs. So here's the thing. Left on the schedule, 4 games: Vikings, Falcons, Lions, Bucs. No, it was Falcons twice. So Falcons twice, Vikings, Lions. They went out 4 games, or even 3 of those 4 games. This is the time where you want to go on a streak. You see teams all the time go on a streak, get the wild card. And there was a streak for a while years back where teams that were hot getting into that last wild card spot were going to the Super Bowl. Yep. And that's what we need to do, because we haven't had the those extra games, those preseason games. We've got a new quarterback, new system, all that kind of stuff. So maybe now's when they start clicking. They're healthy enough. I know the offensive line's a little shaky with Smith and Marpet. But they've got all the tools in place. I think they know what the problems are. The good thing is they adjusted the second half of last week and did, make that comeback. Although the Chiefs kind of adjusted knowing they had a huge lead. But
yeah,
I'm not too worried. I'm not as worried about the Bucs as a lot of fans are. I think this is the year they make the playoffs. And guess what? If they don't, we're going to be that team that is known as the Cleveland Browns, because the Cleveland Browns are going to make the playoffs.
Well, I mean, here's the way I take it. Especially watching that game, it was really good to watch the Bucs play and have Tony Romo call that game. I know there's not a lot of love lost for the Cowboys in this area, but Tony Romo knows what the hell he's talking about, and he's like the one exception to what I was talking about earlier as quarterbacks as offensive coordinators, because Tony understands the game in a bigger aspect than most quarterbacks do. He doesn't look at it from a position. He's always looked at it as a whole board, as all the chess pieces at once. So for him to sit there and say that he believes that's going to be a preview of the Super Bowl matchup, I mean, and he said that with a straight face, no joking, no BS. What his research has led him to see throughout the season with the weapons and everything that is in line with the coaching and everything else, he still believes that the Bucs are his favorite team, his favorite to come out of the NFC and make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he said that at the end of the game.
Yes, he said that multiple times, actually, but he came out point blank and said that at the end of the game. So that there's one thing right there that I'm going to listen to. I'm going to listen to that guy when he says that. I'm listening to him when he says those things. But then also, if I am Byron Leftwich, I'm going to go back and watch Tony Romo call that game, and I'm going to listen to some of the things Tony Romo's saying. I mean,
oh my God, he was basically like giving them the keys to success.
101, how to coach Tom Brady. How to coach Tom Brady 101. I mean, and as soon as they started doing some of those things in the second half, it started working. I mean, come on, So if you can give Tom a few more situations where he's got early on situations where he's got movement on the line and he's got guys on motion and he's trying to expose some of the coverages, that's what he's used to. And it's like, and Romo said this again, and I noted, and this is something I've noticed, and we haven't talked a lot of Bucs ever. That's not something we've kind of stayed out of that lane because there's so many other people that are in that lane. But now that we're doing this, we're obviously going to talk about all the teams. So we are going to do Bucs now, right?
But we're going to have actually Brent next week from Pewtercast is going to jump on to talk a little Bucs with us, and we'll have some more folks. I'm friends with all the 800 Bucs podcasts.
I love them. We're in there. We just haven't really jumped into those waters yet, but now that we are, this is what we're going to talk about. And so when I've been seeing this, Brady's used to having one guy over the top, 2-3 guys underneath. Now he's got one guy underneath, 2-3 guys over the top. And this is something that Romo was talking about, and he pointed it out. And he's going to have to adjust to that. There was no offseason, none, zero offseason for this guy to go from a 20-year system. He's been playing it basically for 20 years, basically the same thing. Even when Josh McDaniels came and left, they basically been playing the same system that he instituted however many, 13, 14 years ago, right? So basically 20 years, Tom Brady's been playing in the same system, same team. Now he's coming to a new team after 20 years. It doesn't matter how good you are. There's still going to be muscle memory, retraining yourself, how to make those reads. Normally he's making those reads bottom to top. Now he has to make those reads top to bottom. Or top to bottom. Now he has to read bottom top. However, but it's all different to him, and you could see he's getting better. And again, as I've been pointing out on social media a lot, Tom's not missing the deep balls. The other guy, the receivers aren't quite on the same page. Evans dropped a big one in the first quarter in that game. He dropped a big one right through his hands. And then he hit Godwin late in the game for a freaking dime.
He was hitting the deep balls last weekend.
Yeah. So I figure Tom's getting there. Tom's getting used to it. You see Gronk just getting better and better, becoming more and more of an impact every week at a 100-yard game.
Out in Brady's gym.
Oh yeah. Well, some people have broken that news that he has been working out in Brady's gym, but I just see these guys just getting better, and again, that defense did, The comment was the Bulls made the adjustments in the second half, and he did, and they definitely started giving some help on Hill. I mean, Hill had 200 yards in the first quarter and then finished with like 240 something to 260. So, I mean, he didn't really do anything the rest of the game. So they definitely made some adjustments with him. They made some adjustments on that side of the ball. But it's just one of those things where if you look, like you said, the remaining schedule, Falcons twice, I mean, it's hard not to count that as 2 wins right now with the way that the NFC South is going. And, that team just has no identity. It seems like they can't figure out what the hell they're doing. So
it could give they didn't blow a lead
for once. But exactly, they don't know what they're doing. I see this team really being a playoff team and being dangerous too, being real dangerous, especially with that defense.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Favorable schedule. So 4 weeks left. Last quarter of the season, in shape to finally make the playoffs. All right. Well, we'll talk more Bucs definitely next week with Brent. We also might have a national guest, if not next week, coming up here later this month. Yep. Who actually knows Tom Brady and has caught balls from Tom Brady. So he's going to give us some good feedback. He's committed. We just don't know the time yet. We'll let you know as soon as possible. So we'll switch gears here. The last podcast we did was We the 98ers, our Rays postseason postgame show. Game 6. Since then, it's been a little bit of doom and gloom for the Rays during the offseason. But, I'm used to the Rays offseason being
SSDS.
That's what we do.
Yep. Same shit, different season. That's it starts at I don't even know what to do right now. Like, I don't even feel like they deserve for me to wear this hat or for us to even talk about them on our fucking show anymore. You know what I mean? They give no loyalty to this town whatsoever. None. 1 win away from winning a World Series, and you can't double down on Morton for $15 fucking million. I mean, come on. No wonder he went and signed with Atlanta. What? I mean, how disrespectful. I mean, I don't know. And now we're hearing rumors of Snell being traded again. Like, did they? I just can't with this fucking team anymore. I can't.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to build a fan base when every year that they do well, we start to really kind of like the players. And a lot of people say it's different from the Lightning, but the reason the Lightning have such loyal fans right now is because we feel like their players back from 2015 and even beyond that are like our family, right?
Right.
We some of you guys have kind of grown up with Alex Killorn and Tyler Johnson, who probably won't be on the roster next season. And it makes a big difference. Those are the players we want to go see. So who are the players we want to go see on the Rays? Thankfully, we have Randy Arozarena, who was in a Mexican jail last week. But apparently I think we got that sorted. Money talks.
No judgment. I can't say. We have talked about my Tijuana stories before on Shooter in the Stache. So no judgment.
Well, it was kind of a dispute with his daughter. And anyone that has a daughter or a child, I think, could understand, being away from that person, wanting to make sure your child is well taken care of. And I think the people that don't really understand the situation don't have kids. So I understand where Randy's coming from. You can't beat up your baby mama's dad or what. I don't know what happened. That was the assault and kidnapping. But anyway, funny things happen in Mexico. Randy is free. And I think hopefully Randy's daughter is being taken care of. But yeah, we need that guy because he is our star now. And then the rumor is that the Rays are going to trade Snell, and Snell's kind of been the face of the franchise here for a couple years. He's a huge character for us in our videos. Probably the number one Rays character that we've had. And it's just tough to root for a team when you don't know who's going to be on their team the next season, especially after they come off the heels of making a World Series.
See, that's for me. That's what it is. I mean, I understand that they're still a small market team and they got to do what they got to do, but you got to double down at some point. right? Like how do you expect to say we want a stadium and people to support that and even maybe pay for it when you're not even willing to pay for a hometown guy to pitch his ass off for you in the postseason and wanted to retire here? But you wanted to try and nickel and dime his ass, so you turned down his fucking options because you could nickel and dime him by what, a mil, maybe a mil and a half, right? Trying to get him to what, 13, 12 for a couple of mil?
By the way, lives in Bradenton.
Lives in
Not
fucking
like he wants
Bradenton.
to go to Atlanta.
No, he did not want to go to Atlanta. But fuck you, Tampa Bay. You can't give the man $15 million. That's bullshit, dude. That's bullshit. And right then and there, that's when I turned my nose up at this franchise right now. Because again, I was on the ride and we talked about it during the show, man. I had stopped watching because I couldn't trust the franchise. It's not because I didn't like the players. It's not because I didn't like the product. It's not because of any other bullshit. It's I don't trust the franchise, man. I didn't trust the franchise. But then Cash is here and he's been kind of building. And now KK's still here. They re-signed Lau. You know, they went and got Sasugo. Like it looked like they were trying to invest in this team. We make a run, one win away from a freaking championship. And they're not doubling down on. I mean, and look, and again, I know we got guys in the stable. I know there's some guys that were hurt that didn't even get to pitch in the postseason that are dynamos. We got arms and everything, but it just does, it leaves a bad taste in the mouth of the fans. If you ask me, as a fan, when you see a guy like Charlie out there, that's a guy that you need to build your rotation around. You got Glass.
Yeah.
If you want to trade Snell. That's fine. Trade Snell. Maybe he's not happy here. He wants to go be a 7-inning guy. He's probably not going to be a 7-inning guy here. That's fine. If you could get something for him, trade him, get some money back, get some prospects. Go ahead, get a couple of prospects and a big bag of cash for Snell. Yeah. That's because you got Glass now. You got Morton, and you got the guys that are coming back from the injury. You got a stable still. But now you lose Morton, and you're going to look at trading Snell. And now you got to hope that some of the guys come back that were hurt are going to perform. Some of the guys that kind of unperform are going to be able to step back. Like it just to me, it's hard. It's hard to be invested in that. And especially like we talked about the Lightning on the other side of the bay, the job they've done, and even the Bucs recently. I mean, the Bucs have finally turned the corner of being a team that is investing in their roster. How many years were we sitting here? It took me forever to become a real diehard Bucs fan after living here 17 years because it was the same thing. Glazer's not doing what they need to do, not paying the guys, not going out making the money, not re-signing the guys. You know, finally in the last few years, they've changed that.
And I think the thing that gives me hope is Rays always freaking find a way to, if they trade Snell, they're going to somehow find some diamond in the rough that somebody was willing to part ways with. So,
I mean, I'll support the guys. You know what I mean? I don't want to leave the players out there hanging because they're out there playing their asses off. And these guys to play here don't make a lot of money per se.
Get Brett Phillips. Get Brett Phillips in the lineup. And X, by the way, in the chat here, he was our Derek Jeter, our hilarious Derek Jeter voice. And yes, I am freezing my ass off here. And I'm just kidding. I turned my heat on yesterday.
Oh shit, dude! Yeah, I turned it on this first thing this morning.
Oh yeah.
Me and Mrs. Stache always go back and forth with that shit too. She's like, "Oh, we don't need it." She opens the door. It's 30 degrees outside. She's got the door open to the back patio. I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
I turned the heat on to 72. She's like, "Oh my god, it's a furnace in here." I'm like, "Oh, here we go."
I usually never turn it on. I've gone a couple years without turning it on. So
yeah, I do my best. But
here. X, we got to know, man. Where's your favorite Tampa Bay dive bar? I swear I've seen you at Elmer's before. Are you a South Tampa guy? By the way, good dive bar right there, right?
Yeah.
What else? What are your other favorite dive bars? I'm over the Rays. Let's move on to our last topic. And by the way, the phone lines are open. I see you there, Chris. So we'll bring you on for your comment here. But we're gonna move on to the final segment here. We're gonna have mostly Tampa Bay sports talk. And by the way, we're gonna talk about other current events in sports. Like if there's a big story, we're gonna talk about it. We're fans of other teams too, but we're huge Tampa Bay fans as well. But we also want to talk about some local stuff too. So Tampa Bay dive bar,
culture, if you
we're
will.
hoping to pair up with some local bars and some breweries, and we want to get some sponsorships with them going so we can help promote them and get you guys in their doors, and hopefully get some merch and some shirts to give away to our best comments in the chat and new followers and stuff like that. So give your favorite bar a shout out here, and heck, tag them in the chat so they know you were talking about them. Maybe they'll send you a coupon, because I know there's a lot of places that are struggling right now because nobody wants to go anywhere with COVID going on.
Get out there.
Just wear a mask. That's all you gotta do. The alcohol kills all the COVID, right?
Hey, so far so good here in Tampa, right? I mean, it's not like we've got crazy spikes going on in the state or anything after the Stanley Cup celebration.
Completely fine. All right, so let's see those dive bars. Let's bring on Chris.
Yeah, my favorite dive bar of all time doesn't exist anymore. So
what was that?
Oh, it was Whistles, bro.
Whistles. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Right? That was the ultimate dive bar. Oh, hell yeah.
That's in Largo, folks.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Down at Larghetto. Right in the heart of it.
What's on your mind tonight?
I don't know. I just enjoy listening to you guys talk about it. I know you're talking a lot about the Bucs, but I'm just happy they're at a positive record at this point in the season. It's been a long time since – I mean, they had one winning season under Jameis Winston. So, I mean, yeah, it sucks we lost 2 in a row, but I could see us going 11-5 or 10-6. So, I'm not too concerned. It's just nice to not be one of the laughingstocks of the NFL right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I kind of put a post out there the other day after the game, and one of the really the only Bucs fan group that I'm a part of, got pretty positive results from it, and it was really just saying, hey, that was the defending Super Bowl champions, 100% healthy, with an added weapon in their backfield, and that was a close game.
Yeah, we only lost by 3.
That was a close game, and they did a lot of things wrong in that game, and neither one of those interceptions, if you ask me, were really on Brady. The pressure and Miller not doing anything to help his quarterback out on that first one, and then that second one, that was miscommunication with Evans. It went off the defender player's helmet because Evans should have gone out, broke outside. He came inside, and then Tom was waiting for him. So he wasn't looking where his ball was going. He was just trying to get it to Evans, hit the guy's helmet, deflected pass. Those aren't on Brady. Those are miscommunications with his receivers. That to me is a lack of postseason and familiarity. They're so much closer. Every game you watch, I see they're getting so much closer. Yeah. And it really what I think it's going to take, as soon as Tom and Evans, Brady and Evans, are on the same page, as soon as they click, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over at that point.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they haven't had a lot of time. Like you were saying, they've hit 20 years with the Pats, and they didn't get the preseason this season. But I mean, it wouldn't have helped. It would have helped a little bit, but not. It wouldn't have replaced 20 years of knowing exactly where everyone's going to be.
Right.
So, I agree with you. I mean, I'm just happy the Bucs are doing good. Yeah, it sucks we lost 2 in a row, like I said, but we're positive right now. You
could be in the NFC East. Any one of those teams. We could be one of those teams in the NFC East right now. So
that's true.
Even if they make the playoffs, which they got a good chance to do, they might play one of those NFC.
Yeah, they're probably like the Eagles or something.
So they've got a good chance to win a playoff game. The thing that worries me about the Bucs is I don't know if they can really make it to the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl with the team as is. They really have to get on a hot streak to do that, because you've seen their losses. Their losses are to good teams. So they beat the teams they're supposed to, which is the difference between the Bucs from the last 10 years. The Bucs the last 10 years won't beat the teams that they're supposed to beat. They'll throw in a loss to, whoever that, you expect the Bucs to beat, because they've got talent. They've had talent on this team for years, right? Just couldn't put it together. But this year's different. These guys, especially Brady and AB and the guys that have kind of been there before in the playoffs, they know that right now is the most important time of the season. By far. Whatever happened in October didn't mean shit, right?
Yeah.
Now's the time where it's go time.
Stache that we talked about earlier. Ask Tony Romo. It's all about November, right? It's all about that November record, man. That's what really sets the tone for the playoffs and the end of the season. Making the playoffs and how you go into the playoffs. It's now. It's the end of the season, December. It's where
you never
we
know
are.
if something can happen. You never know.
Yeah. So, like I said, I think it's just a matter of a little bit of clicking there between Brady and Evans, and then all the pieces fall into line.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, speaking of line, they got to do something there too. Those guys just got to stay healthy and start gelling, especially on the left side for him. Because that's something that I've been harping on it for years, and it still hasn't really gotten much better. They went and got Brady, but they didn't do a lot to help out that offensive line. And
it was big losing. Who was Vita Vea, right?
Yeah, we're on the defensive side of the ball. That's a big loss for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they've done a better job in the last couple of weeks of kind of filling that void. Not that you really can fill a void with a guy like that, but kind of making up for it. And you're seeing a couple other guys really step up. Yeah. So like I'm with you. We're all positivity over here. Shoot on the Stache. When it comes to the Bucs, we're 100% on the positive gravy train over here.
I'm not on Sundays. I get so mad when I see like that first half and Brady and those guys can't move the ball. I'm like, what is happening? I just get so mad. I start doing push-ups because I'm ready to like throw something.
At least there's no more primetime games.
I know that. Yeah, I was going to say that. It's all 1 o'clock from here on, here on out. And then, we get to the playoffs, then it's a different story. But they got to shake that monkey off their back eventually. Yeah. I don't know what the deal is with that. Apparently, the practicing at night did not help. So no more of that. Maybe they need to just practice like early in the morning. Although I think that's probably what they do. All right, so Chris, anything else? Because we'll let you go because we're going to get out of here soon. By the way, Chris, we're still going to be doing We the Thunder. We're still going to talk a little bit of bolts on this, but We the Thunder, we've got the Tampa Bay Amalie Arena Ice Crew that's going to come on. So it's kind of weird, right? Like, I don't think they've ever been on a podcast or a show before, but I asked them. They got a permission, and we'll ask them about the ice. That's
sweet.
It's sweet ice. You play hockey. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Well, I think it'll be interesting now, though. It'll be interesting now because, NHL is still starting. Yeah. So shooting for a first of the year start date.
They really got to clean the ice then.
Yeah. They're still shooting for a first of the year start date. So basketball and hockey would overlap, and it'd be interesting to get their take on seeing what they would have to do.
I don't think Tampa would be a hub.
Well, they're not talking about hubs. They're talking about regular, like Toronto or like the NBA and the NFL are doing, playing from their stadiums. They don't want a hub because if they do hubs, teams can't afford it. And we talked about this before. Teams can't afford not to have revenue. At least 20% of this league, of the teams, at least 4 to 6 teams in this league depend on in-arena revenue to operate, period. They will not survive if they don't get actual ticket sales and concessions and those things to a certain point. But at the same time, now we have states like California who are now rescinding and going back into lockdown. They're no longer allowing athletic competition, let alone fans. They're not even allowing athletic competition. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. That's kind of why we haven't talked Lightning yet, because we're still waiting to see what the NBA or what the NHL is going to do. We're still waiting to see some moves and trades that are going on. Obviously, we did have a contract signing, a pretty big contract signing in Sergachev, but that's still, we don't have quite enough to talk about yet. So we are starting for a We the Thunder show here in the next couple of weeks, but we're just hoping for another shoe to drop, hopefully, to be honest with you.
We'll probably have maybe Joe Smith on too. So later this month, we'll be back with We the Thunder. But we'll be back every week with this show.
Wednesdays.
Sounds good.
Wednesday,
9 p.m.
9
Eastern.
o'clock. Grab a drink, whether it's water, milk.
Or the tough stuff like Mr. X, the strong Coke with cherries. Come on in.
Yes, sir. But Chris, thanks for calling in. We hope to see you back next week.
Yeah, I'll be there.
This puppy up. All right, man.
Nice, brother.
See ya.
Yeah. All right. So, anything else you got on your mind, Stache? We're like right on time at about an hour. I know we're gonna shoot for an hour, but like you know how we go. You know how we go.
That never happens.
We've done 4-hour shows.
We're usually only halfway through at this point. We're just getting warmed up.
I like the menu here. What do you guys think of the format here? I like kind of staying on the script here a little bit more than we normally have in the past. We definitely want to get you guys involved. That's the idea of the sports bar is like let's pull up a stool in the chat. That last segment, we'll try to stick to the last segment. That's when you guys can jump on, give your take, but put your chat in there, and we'll always kind of highlight the good chats. I know someone in there said earlier something about Ronnie Diaz put in his retirement today.
Yeah.
And good luck to him. I know he's been a long time Tampa Bay radio guy. I just wanted to have a message to DAE. Let's put the right guy in that chair with our guy Jay Retcher. I don't think anything's been finalized on who's replacing him. I know it just happened today, but Jay Retcher, who's been on the show, has more than earned his spot, I think.
I totally agree.
That's my personal opinion. And we'll probably have Jay on this show. And heck, we might even have Ian Beckles if we can get that guy to stay up past 9 o'clock at night on this show. We might have to go to might have to go to his place and do an offsite or something to
we'll have to do like a old school kind of kidnapping podcast thing, like throw him in the back of the shooter truck and or the stash truck and do it live on site or some shit like that. I don't know.
There's the chat.
There it is. You find it. I was scrolling up. You found it
on the 11th. So you only got about 10 more days of Ronnie Diaz, longtime Tampa Bay radio host. Opens up a seat for another Tampa Bay radio host, though. So always
turn another card almost. Yeah, I mean, come on, that's the guy that I started listening to, Ron and Ian, when I first got here. I mean, to me, that's still one of the biggest things you and I've done is sat down with Ian Beckles, had lunch, and started kind of collaborating and doing some things with him. You did a little more with him than I did, but it just collectively coming to this town, and those were the DAE guys for me. So yeah, Ronnie D, that guy is a legend around here. So it's definitely going to be a little bit of a loss, but it's also a good opportunity, especially at a great time at Tampa Sports to bring someone in with a little bit of a fresh take and kind of changing of the guard of the sports scene in this area too, All
right. Well, I think we're changing the guard. We're switching it up a little bit with this show. Thank you, Kristen. Always good to see at least your picture. I haven't seen you in person for years, which kind of sucks, but miss you, buddy. Hope everything's well. And again, come back, join us every Wednesday. We're going to drag our ass into our little rooms here and do this show for you. And again, our shows have always not been about us. They're more about, all of this Tampa Bay community and sports. And again, we're going to go a little bit off topic, talk about cool stuff around town. And it doesn't happen without you guys. So appreciate the support. Go shoot us a follow on YouTube. Or on
share us to follow on YouTube.
Yeah, share, and then the podcast. That's what we really need, because I'm telling you, when we get a sponsor, which will happen, we're not gonna go home and spend that money. We're gonna take that money and reinvest it into this. So we need your support on that to make that happen, because like I said, we get so much traction on this damn Facebook page, but we still only have we're still under 5,000 followers. But if you look at our Facebook numbers of engagements and all this stuff, it's crazy. If everybody followed us that engages with our posts, we'd have sponsors lined up out the door. I'm telling you, it's crazy how much support we get. Although you won't like us, maybe they don't like us. That's
right. Watch us just because they hate us.
Hate us because they ain't us.
Hate us because they ain't us.
And yeah, we're gonna have some of these local guys. Maybe we'll get Exxon someday here. I know he's part of the Loose Cannons, who have an extraordinary Bucs podcast, production value. We're trying to match that here. We're trying to match that production value. These guys know what they're talking about over there at Loose Cannons, and also what's the other one? Bucking Idiots too.
Bucking Idiots. Yep.
And Rachel, we definitely miss you, and for sure we still again are going to do. We the Thunder will be back, but we'll be back next Wednesday. Anything else, Stache? You sign us off.
Oh man, I'm just stoked. I've been missing this so much. I've been missing you. I've been missing the chat. I've been missing the fans. I'm so excited to be back here every freaking week. same bat time, same bat channel. We'll be coming with the takes. You'll be coming with the comments. We'll just make this a thing, right? Every week right here at the Sports Bar.
All right, Tampa Bay, stay warm
It's a cold one out there.
and wear a mask.